So I'm sitting here with Mamie,
Mamie Horang.
and she is from Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
and her husband Greg heard about Dr. Nemeh through the Ben Greenfield podcast. So Mamie's going to tell her story about what happened to her, and it's just a beautiful story of faith, hope, and love. So Mamie, I'm going to have you tell your story.
I guess it's been 2 years ago now. I started having pain in my neck and finally went to go see the doctor, and he sent me off to the spine doctor. And I had, I guess, their steroid shots in my neck trying to make things better, which seemed to make things worse initially and maybe lasted for a few weeks. So we did that a couple times, and then I had something called a rhizotomy where they go and they burn the nerves off in the back of the neck, and that was horrible. So it got to the point where I was in a lot of pain, could hardly focus or do things, and I've got a lot of kids to take care of at home. So Greg had heard about Dr. Nemeh, and he had gotten the book, and I finally had gotten to the spine surgeon and said, yeah, we have to do something to make this better because I can't function. I had headaches, I could hardly turn my neck, it was bad. Nauseous all the time, taking nausea meds, and so finally I got the surgery scheduled. It was beginning of March,
And you were going to have a cervical laminectomy
yeah,
on your neck. So tell them what they were going to do to you.
They were gonna. Well, I walked in thinking I had like bone spurs, and they were gonna, grind off. I don't know what they were gonna do, but it was gonna be a simple procedure. And by the time I walked out of the spine surgeon, I was gonna have 2 vertebrae fused and a disc replaced, and I was a little bit shell shocked, but I was in a lot of pain, and nothing else had worked, and I was just done. And like I said, I have a lot of kids with disabilities at home, and I can't not function. So I went through the pre-op for the surgery, and my husband had called and gotten an appointment with Dr. Nemeh because we figured, what was something to try because nothing else had worked. So the appointment with Dr. Nemeh was on a Saturday. My surgery was scheduled for Wednesday. We had everything ready. All the pre-op work was done. That morning my hands were always cold, so I had my hand on the side of my neck, and I was taking the nausea meds because I crashed on the couch because I couldn't really do anything. We had the appointment, I don't know, 1 o'clock maybe in the afternoon, and Dr. Nemeh, he told me, he said, doesn't matter what prayer I'm saying, he said, just, it'll be all right, just, don't worry about that. So we sat there, and I don't even know how long the appointment was. And I remember thinking through my head, like, nothing had happened yet, and I was thinking, wow, what do I say if nothing happens? And then, I don't know, towards the end of the call, all of a sudden, this side of my neck, it was the left side of my neck, just got really warm, and I kind of felt flushed. And Dr. Nemeh, he said it may not happen like right at this minute, but over time.
So this was a virtual call.
This was a video phone call. I tell people, I go, this was a video phone call. This was not.
So you weren't in the office.
I was not in the office.
Oh my gosh! I thought you were in the office.
No, I came to see him afterwards, and he fixed some other stuff that I had, but. No, this was a video.
So what did you feel during the virtual call?
I mean, I didn't feel anything at first, and he kept asking me, and I kept going, I don't really feel anything. And then literally all of a sudden, the side of my neck got really warm, and I started flushing, and our room is freezing, so it wasn't because I was in a warm room. And it just got warm, and it started to I just felt different. And so I think he prayed a little bit longer, and by the end of that day, I didn't need the nausea meds anymore, and I wasn't curled up on the couch. Next day was Sunday, so I kind of waited through the day. It progressively got better and got better. Sleeping had been really hard for months, for like a year and a half. And I slept every way I could that I couldn't sleep before because my neck hurt too badly. And I woke up Monday, and I called that afternoon to cancel my surgery because I felt that much better. And
so your neck feels normal. So why did you come to the office for the medical appointment?
Well, I have a club. I was born with a club foot. I have something called Ehlers-Danlos, so there are lots of ligament issues, and so I can't remember. I think of the neck. Maybe the neck still hurt just a little bit. I had other things going on, and we figured I would come in with all my myriad of other things, and I always thought that my foot was deformed because it would hang sideways when I just let it drop down. Because a club foot, when I was born, it was twisted up against my leg, curving in. So my foot still curved. And I didn't really worry about that. I think the back pain and the neck were probably the residual things were the things we were looking to fix. But he just was talking, and he was doing the acupuncture, the meridian acupuncture, and he just looks at me and he goes, "Look, your foot." I look down and my foot is hanging straight down.
Oh
For
my
the first time in
gosh.
my 55 years, I just told him, I said, I thought it was just deformed. I didn't really worry about it. And he's like, "No."
Oh my gosh. So the deformity went away.
It went away, and then my back was kind of like caved in, like when you take a towel and you like rub it on your back. I couldn't because it was caved in. It looked
Oh
like
my
I had chicken
gosh.
wings sticking out, kind of with my shoulder blades. I didn't even say anything to him about these things, by the way. And then he just looks and he goes, "Oh, look, your back is out." And I'm like, my back is normal, like the way it should be, popped out, and I didn't even know what to say, and I had a slight curve in my spine. I go to PT all the time because of the Ehlers-Danlos, but I went to my TT, and she goes, "Your curve is gone." So
It's
all that
all
stuff is
gone.
gone.
So
the curve is straight.
how do you even explain that to
I-
people?
you know-
So you had all these healings, the cervical spine, your back caved in, the club foot gone within an hour and plus, and then you canceled surgery after the virtual
Yeah, the
call.
virtual.
But
I
I mean,
didn't
I'm
even know.
sitting here, I see this all the time.
Yeah.
But God always amazes me. So what do you tell people?
Well, a lot of people. I guess in some ways I'm careful who I tell, but
Yeah, you don't want them to think you're losing your mind.
right. Well, and some, and I hear a lot of, "Well, it's just mind over matter," and I'm like, well, you know what? First off, the physical things that changed the second time, you can't deny the fact that my foot is different, my back is better, all
Right.
that is done. But I know how much pain I was in, and I mean, you don't schedule surgery for nothing, especially when
Not a big surgery
no.
like that.
Well, and with the Ehlers-Danlos, I knew the incisions were going to take forever to heal because that's just the way it is. But I mean, it's I don't know.
So what do you tell people?
Well, and I tell you the other thing is that, so when I had the neck done, I had migraines for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, because everything had to readjust.
Shifting.
And everything was shifting. So the muscles around here were tight, and it just worked its way out. And the same thing when I left here from having the back thing done and the foot and all that stuff, I thought I was going to die on the way home because my back hurt so badly with everything shifting. And within about 4 or 5 days,
It all
everything
went in.
calmed down and everything was fine. But I just tell, I just tell the story, and then they can make whatever they want of it. But I'm a firm believer, and I think we were talking, I've always been a believer in the power of prayer, but I never really thought that it would happen to me. And it's kind of awe-inspiring, and it just has left me speechless because people will ask, and I just I don't know what to tell you.
Just telling the story.
It worked, and
I was listening to you when I
yeah.
introduced myself and we started talking, and then you told me what was going on. I'm like, I have to interview you. And Ben Greenfield's amazing, that he took a leap of faith, interviewed Dr. Nemeh, and they're coming from every direction because of Ben, from New Zealand to Australia to virtual, or they fly in here. And he's amazing man, and I want to thank Ben for touching so many lives. Seriously.
I mean, we are, like I said, if I had gotten that surgery, the surgeon, who was wonderful, by the way, he just said, "This won't be your last surgery, because once you fuse, then you put all the stress on all the rest of them."
Right. What does your surgeon say?
I haven't actually talked to the surgeon, but there was another spine doctor that I went to, because I kind of fell down the stairs recently and had to go back just to have him check things out. And he just said, he said, "We're just happy that you're better." And we haven't done any x-rays or anything at that point on the neck, but he just said, "We're happy that you're better." And but my other doctors, I've had doctors, I have kids who have issues, and one of their doctors wanted all of Dr. Nemeh's information because his dad was really sick and can't leave. And so to do a video call for him would be, the only way he would really be able to get to see somebody.
Dr. Nemeh's reaching thousands of people this way.
And it works. That was the crazy thing for me was, I had all this done, and I tell people, I keep going, it was a video visit. It wasn't like we were in person, and it was
the
hands-on.
Holy Spirit can touch you millions of miles away.
So
God is good all the time.
So you don't have to be in person. It can, I don't know. I don't even know what to say, but it was amazing, and I'm so grateful and thankful because it definitely changed the course of my life will take from here on out. That's for
Right.
sure.
Well, then you will touch
Yes.
many, many other lives, and you'll know the right person to tell.
Yeah.
And hopefully, and God willing, they'll have a miracle too.
Yeah. Well, there's Lay next door who has the same neck problems I do, and I just said you should really call Dr. Nemeh and make an appointment because
You should have brought her along today. Well, we'll pray for your daughter now. She's next in line.
Yeah.
God willing, she'll be good.
Yeah. Yeah. She's got a lot. We've got a family with a lot of different issues, so we're grateful for Dr. Nemeh because it gives you hope.
Right.
And because sometimes that goes a long way all by itself.
Right.
Just that sense of hope and peace.
Yep. Well, God bless you. Thank you.
you.
Thanks, Mamie.